And welcome to JFP Sports, where fantasy and sports talk lives. Well, welcome back, folks. Ricky P and I are in the house. Puma, how you been, bro?
Good. It's been a while. I think we need to finally dive into these preseason games. Week 1, the Hall of Fame game, leading into Week 1. It was a lot of fun.
We've taken such a layoff. You know, life has gotten in the way.
I think the last one we had was the podcast after the All-Star game, I think. So it's been a while.
Manny Machado was traded.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
But yes, like Ricky has said, it's been a while, but we are here to jump right back into it. It is late August. That means NFL training camps are going on. We've just had the first week of preseason that has finished. I mean, Rick, up to this point, did you see anything last night or in any of the preseason games you liked so far? I know it's early, and there's some new guys on the block, some new kids on the block. Tell me, do you like anything so far?
Two things that stood out to me. One, Andrew Luck looked pretty good in his return. That was good, just as a football fan, not a Colts fan, not an AFC South fan, but just to watch him back in action. Right, just to watch him back in action was good. And honestly, my other big takeaway besides the rookies, Geno Smith looked fantastic last night. Fantastic. I know he's not great, but he looked really, really good in a Charger uniform, the LA Chargers, that is. He looked really good. But overall, I think we'll get into the rookies, but I think there were a lot of positives, a few negatives, but I think the positives definitely outweighed the negatives. A lot of good starts, and I think a lot of good things to look forward to.
Well, three things, and one of them was I didn't even know what team Geno Smith was on.
No, I didn't either. I happened to be watching NFL. I was watching NFL Network last night, and I'm like, oh, Geno Smith is on. Third quarter, I think. Yeah. Did pretty well against that Cardinal
team. He's in LA. Two is last night, Royce Freeman, the former Oregon Duck. I mean, he looked great, especially on their second drive, 23-yard touchdown drive. I mean, he looked great, number 37 for the Denver Broncos. Tell me a little bit about him. You watch a lot of college, of course. Ricky's always telling me about the newest college players on the scene. Tell me a little bit about Royce Freeman. I mean, he looks like a good stud back.
Yeah, he is good. He is good. I always worry about the Oregon products only because of the transgressions that they've had. A lot of Chip Kelly guys come in,
Pac-12 to the
NFL and they're not great.
As the SEC guys.
You always find the USC backs are better, and Bryce Love out of Stanford I think will be another stud, just like McCaffrey was out of Stanford. Right. But no, Royce Freeman, he's got all the potential to win that job. Right now it's just really him and Devontae Booker. We saw what happened to Darius Geis the other night. He's out for the season. So if I'm a rookie back, while I'm trying to prove myself, I've got to be very cautious, especially in that position. I think the Broncos, other than that running back spot and maybe a tight end question here and there, they have their quarterback, hopefully the future, in Keenum. Right, hopefully in Keenum. They just signed him. And I've always loved Demaryius Thomas, back to the Peyton Manning days.
Yeah, you do.
And Emmanuel Sanders, I also think could be a good threat.
They just needed a captain for the ship.
Right, and and a decent run game. I mean, they've tried a bunch of guys. They've tried C.J. Anderson, and we can go on and on about who they've tried and who's failed, but I think he's got the potential, Royce Freeman that is, to really win that job and take the AFC West by storm.
I mean, I can't see him not taking ownership. I mean, you have a guy in, we brought up Devontae Booker. I think he was at Texas Tech a couple of years ago. I just feel that he just puts the ball on the ground too much. How could you trust someone like that? And Royce Freeman, not known for fumbling, had a good rushing record at Oregon. I feel like, and rookie running backs, they're in vogue, especially this year.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to see a lot of pass-happy offense from the Broncos. When Peyton Manning was there, they did that a lot too. I mean, we can go back to the Willis McGahee type Tim Tebow, dink and dunk, try to get Willis the ball, but when they had Peyton Manning, they really let him sling it. And when he broke the single-season touchdown record, he was throwing it. So I think we're not saying Case Keenum's at that point. He won't be. He's not Peyton Manning, but
manage the game.
Right, just manage the game. But he could very be similar to, I think, a Kirk Cousins aspect, the way he was in Washington. You get the ball off to Chris Thompson, hand the ball off to like a Samaje Perine type that they did. just use your running backs here and there. I think he could be very similar to an Alvin Kamara, more out of the backfield and in between the tackles.
And Case just has to, maybe do some 3-step drops, shallow cross, get it to the guy.
Right.
And not Adam Thielen. What's his name? Iman Sanders.
Right. Let them make the plays.
Right.
You just hit them in stride.
Just coordinate.
Be manageable. 3rd and 4 through 3rd and 6. If you're playing 3rd and 8, and longer than that, that's where you get in trouble.
And play off that stellar Denver defense. I mean, they selected Bradley Chubb. And you got Von Miller on the other end. That's a dynamite.
Yeah, no, I mean, those two should definitely get after guys like Phillip Rivers. I think Patrick Mahomes will be in a new world seeing those two twice a season. Play off the defense, establish some sort of run game, try to get 100 yards total from your team. Case Keenum go out, throw 250, which I think is manageable with those guys, and play action game.
Ball possession.
I would not be surprised if that team really, really makes a run in that division.
I could see them win the division. And we'll get that on our prediction show next week.
Yeah, no, I just off first glance, we'll have to take a look at the schedules and dive into depth charts a little bit more, but it's going to be tough to dethrone the Chiefs. I know they lost Marcus Peters, a big shutdown corner.
They have no defense.
Right, that's really the problem. I don't know. If Patrick Mahomes lives up to the hype, I think that offense is going to be really tough to stop.
Off the charge. And the third takeaway that I took from preseason in week 1, Mr. Sam Darnold. All right, Jets fans, you saw a little bit of glimpse. 6 for 9, 96 yards, a touchdown. I thought it was magic. All right?
Yeah, I don't want to put too much into it. I
know he's going against backups.
Out of all the big rookies, out of the guys we were looking forward to, excuse me, Royce Freeman, not looking forward to you, even though you did catch our eye.
Right.
Out of the big top 5, top 10 picks, guys we were looking forward to seeing week 1, in their new uniform, I'm going to put Darnold second. I have to admit, I think Baker Mayfield really stole the show.
Wow.
If I had to go 1, 2, 3, it would be Baker, Darnold, Saquon, and I'll give you the reasons why. Before we get to that, I did like Sam Darnold, but he was playing against second and third stringers. Now, I'm not saying that Baker wasn't, because he was too, but Baker Mayfield he's going to be given the chance more, because Tyrod Taylor, we saw last year, he's capable of winning games.
Right.
It's a matter of time before Baker Mayfield hits the field. I don't necessarily know if the Jets play better than I think they can. I don't know if Darnold's getting into a game before Baker is.
Well, I put my money right now. Sam Darnold gets into a game before Baker Mayfield, just because Tyrod is a good game manager. He can win games, like you just said.
Well, who's more talented, the Browns or the Jets? Right. On the offensive side of the ball, it's not even close.
I'm thinking the Browns.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Only because the juice, Jarvis Landry is there, and then Josh Gordon when he comes from whatever rehab center he is.
Yeah, and they have their backs. We talked about the kid Callaway, if he could stay on the field. That team,
he had another incident.
Right, if apparently Des Bryant's potentially in the works, that was a whole issue when he came on. John Dorsey comes out, says we try to contact Des. Des apparently isn't returning their calls. Dez tweets out during the game, noticeably after one Baker Mayfield drive, he says, I'm coming in for a visit. That's interesting. He waited till the second drive. Couldn't do it before the game, but I guess he wanted to see how Baker played. Clearly, he was impressed. We're thinking along the same lines, Dez and I.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I don't know if you folks got a chance to get a sneak peek of Hard Knocks with the Cleveland Browns.
Can we not do the Hard Knocks thing right now?
I saw the first episode. I was blown away by Jarvis Landry.
He did look like a leader to me.
You know what? We ain't taking none of this weak. You know what?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to repeat it on the airwaves. You know what? I do want to say one thing about Jarvis Landry. I haven't really seen him ever take a leadership role before coming to Cleveland.
But I think on this team, he's going to be a leader.
Right. Well,
he's making the money. He's the veteran. And you know what? He's the darn best player on that team right now.
Well, I one of the reasons, now that I'm thinking about it and after watching Hard Knocks, unfortunately, I don't know why I do, because it's a clown show in my opinion, but what I think they brought him in to do, besides just be a viable pass catcher, to really bring these guys along, show some veteran leadership. I think Josh Gordon can use some of that. Antonio Callaway can use some of that. Baker Mayfield can use some of that. I think Tyrod will help with the Baker Mayfield situation, but I mean, when we really look at it, Jarvis Landry is the only one on that team. And Njoku showed some flashes last year, but he could also bring him along too. I think Jarvis Landry is going to be big in the locker room. When a guy like Joe Thomas recently departed, He was the guy. I'm not saying leadership-wise, Jarvis
but he was
that
the stability.
Guy. Right, but I think Jarvis can provide some of that.
No, absolutely. I think he's going to be the voice in that locker room. And I know a lot of people say, your leader has to be your quarterback. Well, in this instance...
I don't think in this case.
No, not in this case whatsoever. I mean, you have a young, up-and-coming team with a lot of talent, but no direction. So you need veterans.
We've been saying that for years.
Right. So you need, Cleveland is known as Siberia of the NFL. Let's just say what it is. If you go there, you're probably not going to be seen.
I think that's putting it nicely.
Right. So Jarvis wants to change that. And his message in Hard Knocks was, listen to the receiver corps. If you're not hurt or nothing is bothering you, you should be out there playing, fellas. And you know what? He's darn right. There's too many excuses in life and in sports, especially on the Cleveland Browns, who are known for being losers, start to act like losers. And that's a contagious thing.
Well, two points. I know we got off on a tangent on the Browns, even though we were...
Well, you got it. It's Hard Knocks.
Right. No, I know we were supposed to be talking about Darnold, but the way... Two things about that comment made by Jarvis Landry. The first one, it's easy to come out with comments like that when you're making 100 times more than the next guy. So that's one. So I'll take that with a grain of salt because it's TV. We know that. Two, what happens when the season starts going poorly?
Right, and they lose 5 in a row.
Right. Is he going to have the same mentality, or is he going to be on the sidelines like Odell, screaming, kicking, marrying, kicking nets?
Well, I was actually watching it with my father yesterday, and I'm like, this guy is the more mature Odell Beckham. I mean...
Jarvis.
I mean...
He does. He certainly seems
I never
that
forget
way.
it. The Jets were winning against Miami in London 2 years ago. I mean, we couldn't stop Jarvis Landry for anything. Jets fans, you know this. He was a Jet killer. They could have stunk.
That's why you're happy he's in Cleveland.
He had Matt Moore behind center. You had Ryan Tannehill behind center. And you know what? This guy always got the ball in the slot, shallow crosses, go routes, whatever you call it. We couldn't stop him. I'm glad he's out of our division. But every time I saw him, he was always yelling on the sideline. And you know why he would get frustrated? Because everyone he was around had a losing mentality, including the Miami Dolphins. So he's coming from a point of that he's come from a losing scenario. He knows what it's like. But you know what? He knows what it's like to be winning because he came from a great program in LSU with Odell Beckham. So I feel like that's good. These players need that, and they need a veteran like that to back them. And you know what? You need sometimes tough love too, someone to get on you because they've been losing so much. They need to kick it into gear.
Yeah, no.
I think it's a good thing. I like Landry like that, and I think he's the mature Odell Beckham.
Well, they paid him to be the number one guy. We've always known him to be a slot guy.
Now he's got to play on the outside.
He's going to play he's going to play in that X or Z position. He's not in that Y anymore. So
I think he could handle it.
I think he can too, but I think he's better off with a gunslinger in Baker Mayfield. I don't think Baker Mayfield I know he only completed 55% of his passes in his first game, 11 of 20. But he's not as inaccurate as people make it sound like Darnold's the accurate guy. Rosen's the accurate guy. Baker Mayfield's, I know he is a gun. He reminds me a lot of Case Keenum, but who was a gunslinger in college out of Texas Tech. But at the same time, what a team that was.
Yeah.
Breaking records with Michael Crabtree.
I know what you mean, but you have to play to guys' strengths.
Well,
what do I always say?
I'm starting with Tyrod.
Right.
If that's what we're alluding to, I'm starting because Tyrod did not do anything in that first game to lose his job. First of all, if I think it was Denzel Ward, the first play, I break up a pass and then I get 15 yards for taunting. Denzel, it's game 1 of the preseason. You haven't done anything yet.
Right.
That's one. And two, and then Jarvis has a catch. He gets 15 yards for taunting, for spitting the ball. Guys, you're on the Browns for a reason.
Yeah.
I know, Denzel, you just got drafted there, but this is this type of stuff that that gets you into trouble. We haven't said that they've been a lack of talent.
No,
they have more talent between Myles Garrett and some of those other guys on the defensive end. That's actually better. It's a tough division to play in. They're better than the Jets.
Yeah,
if they're playing the Jets 10 times, they're beating them at least 6 of them.
It's dysfunction and a lack of direction and a lack of, paying attention and mental mistakes. So all those combined, I feel like the Browns will have a good season. But back to Mr. Sam Darnold, I think he had a great showing in his first debut, and I think it's going to continue. I mean, I could see him start against the Washington Redskins. Let him get those reps. McCown doesn't need those reps. Bridgewater, you know what? They can split the half.
Teddy was okay.
Good too. I love that pass to
He's
Isaiah
playing
Crowell.
for a new job. That's why he's here.
Jets fans, doesn't Isaiah Crowell remind you of
Chris Ivory?
Chris Ivory.
Well, why? Because they have long dreads, or because they run? They run physically.
Style.
They run
running
physically.
style, and you know what? You're right. The crazy hair, but just the running style of being aggressive, going through the hole.
I never understood why. If I'm a defender, why am I not just trying to tackle him by the dreads?
That's a flag. You know who got that flag? Ricky Williams. They used to pull him by the dreads.
I thought that was part of the jersey.
No, they pulled him by the dreads. That's a foul.
Well, either way, even if I'm an offensive guy, do I want to get tackled by my dreads? Maybe you'd be a little bit quicker if you didn't have 45 pounds 15.
Of hair. Yeah,
or maybe if you didn't have so much hair, maybe you'd be a little quicker. Because Chris Ivory looked like a bowling ball.
I think Isaiah Crowell, a veteran running back, is a X factor on this team. Because what's the main thing with a young quarterback? You want to establish a run, and you want to play stout defense. And I feel
I like him.
I still say I think he's a sleeper in fantasy. But I say by week 3, Darnold will be in there just for the mere fact old McCown breaks down too quickly, and Bridgewater will be trade bait. Someone's going to go down in preseason or minicamp. You know what? Give me a second-round pick. I'll ship you off Teddy Bridgewater. I'll drive him to JFK for you.
Yeah, no, I think Teddy's playing for a new job, ultimately. We know he's not better than McCown, I don't think, right now. We know Darnold's the guy of the future. So it's kind of unfortunate for Teddy, but, that knee injury really was an issue. Nothing he can do about it. It took him a while to get back.
And you know what? I know trade deadline for football, not a lot of people talk about it, but I think it's like week 6, week 7, something like that. If you're the Tampa Bay Bucks, you're rolling with Fitzpatrick, and you want to move on from Jameis Winston, and a Teddy Bridgewater is right there. How about a Teddy Bridgewater to Tampa Bay with a Mike Evans?
Well, the only thing,
maybe I'm just dreaming.
Would this be for the rest of the year type thing or long term? Because
rest of the year and then building on a long term.
Well, I don't see that Buccaneer team with the Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers. That Bucs team's lucky to win 5 games.
Well, here's my question: Teddy Bridgewater.
That team is going to be about 2-5 come the deadline.
Well, I put my Swedish fish in my mouth. Teddy Bridgewater, okay, and when he was good with Minnesota,
which he wasn't great. I think that's
the question. This is the question. When he was whatever he was with Minnesota, say he gets a little bit better, or Jameis Winston, who would you take? Knowing what you know now.
No, I would take Teddy, but assuming he's healthy.
And building off a future run game with a Ronald Jones from USC.
Assuming he's healthy, right. I would take Teddy. But
you have an ascending tight end.
I would not give up. So I would not give up a second. So this is the way I look at it. I'm not giving up a second-round guy for the rest of the season because if they're doing well enough with Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't think he's an upgrade over Ryan Fitzpatrick. I really don't believe that. So if you're doing well enough with Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'm not giving up a second-rounder, and I don't think Teddy is the guy long-term. So realistically, I'm not making that trade to begin with.
Well, I only bring it up because the first 3 games that Tampa has to play is like Pittsburgh,
That's
New
a
Orleans,
loss. Good loss.
Eagles.
Loss. So they're 0-3, but as we hit the end of September.
And Winston comes in and he stinks it up. You cut your losses. You bring Teddy in.
No, but you still have Winston on the books. What's the
No. But after this year, they have to decide if they want to pick up his 5th-year options. Let's just say they don't pick it up.
I assume they won't pick it up either.
Right. You bring in Bridgewater, play him a couple of games, see how it goes. Maybe you have a Jimmy Garoppolo go on a 5-game winning streak, whatever. But I think it's not bad to.
No, well, I'm looking at it this way: by some miracle, I don't have the schedule in front of me. If that's what I'm assuming, that's what those 3 games are. If Ryan Fitzpatrick manages to win one of them,
I don't see.
Which I don't see either. He's my guy. Because we know he's capable of putting up some decent number games.
I just feel that...
And I don't know if Ronald Jones is the guy to lean behind Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not the biggest Ronald Jones fan.
I said this to myself last year, people. I said, where's Alvin Kamara going? He's got Mark Ingram and Adrian Peterson in front of him.
Well, we knew Adrian Peterson was over the top.
But you didn't know. I'm saying this year at last point.
No, we didn't.
This year at this point.
You're absolutely right. We did not.
So in my head, I always said, Kamara has this great talent. If this guy just gets an opportunity. Now I say that about Ronald Jones. He gets an opportunity. And Peyton Barber, forget about him. He has more of a opening.
Well, you don't like Charles Sims either? Those guys are, between him and Barber, I don't know if it's 43 or 34 that they're wearing.
It was
like the Browns.
Campbell.
It was like the Browns. John and Jerron, 12 and 13.
Oh, God, I hate that. I still get confused. Anyway, I could see Ronald Jones coming up like Kamara. Call me crazy. But same kind of skill set. Scat back.
Right.
Have that Jamal Charles look. I feel that it's kind of like a week 5 and beyond type of investment. And you know what? For fantasy, we'll put a fantasy spin on this. Why not a 7th round pick or later?
No.
For
if
for
we're
Mr.
going
Jones.
fantasy, I could understand that.
What's your drawback on that?
My big drawback is Alvin Kamara was able to burst on the seam as a pass catcher first. Ronald Jones will be asked to shoulder the load a little bit more.
Which I feel like is even better.
Right, it might be better.
Because it brings more value. Kamara had Mark Ingram.
Which
Ronald Jones has...
Right, I think, but I'm looking at it like Alvin Kamara, his main responsibility was to be a pass catcher first. Just become a pass catcher, a third down back, and eventually show us what you can do and evolve. Versus Ronald Jones, who basically will say, here's the key to the car.
Right.
That might work. It might not. I don't trust Tampa. I don't trust Tampa.
And you know what it is? I don't mind Dirk Cutter's offense. It's just I feel, like you said, I think he'll be asked to shoulder more of the load. And coming into the offseason with the Saints, they thought Kamara was just going to come on third downs like Chris Thompson.
So, real quick, we've talked about a bunch of rookies, guys that we probably didn't really envision talking about. But real quick, Saquon.
Oh, Saquon, dog.
It's ironic you say that because I watched a lot of college, a lot more. I probably watch more college than I do pro football. If you take the fantasy aspect out of it, it wouldn't even be close. The big thing about Saquon Barkley is he's a lot of Adrian Peterson, and like he'll get you 3, 4, 2, 5, and then bust one out.
I feel like
he's not the consistent guy who's going to pick up 6, 7 like a Barry Sanders type. He's going to be little, and he might explode type of thing. And that's the thing I worry about because he had the big run, and then he didn't do anything on the next 3 runs. I think he went 3, 2, something like that. He had like 43.
We do have to keep in mind that
it was his first game.
Preseason,
I understand. I understand that.
Call me crazy, all right? Derek Jeter, last game in Yankee Stadium, gets a hit. Okay, I don't know where you people.
We're already comparing him to Derek.
No.
Jeter?
You're not listening to me. Is it somewhat adequate that the Browns let him run 39 yards? Could you say that they kind of backed up? They don't want to get hurt. It's a preseason game. It's not week 1 of the regular season. So is it? What I'm trying to allude to is, was it kind of set up? Did they just be passive and let him get it?
No, I don't necessarily.
Because who's going 110 miles per hour in preseason?
Oh, the third stringers, and that's about it. Because they're trying to make the roster. I don't think
I saw
that
against their first team defense, who could be letting the pedal off.
I don't think.
And the only reason why I bring up the Derek Jeter thing is only because him getting the last hit against the Orioles, his last game, I feel like that was a little bit of Buck saying to the pitcher, "Here, let him have it. If he hits it, he hits it. If not, whatever." I feel like
that was against the Orioles and big old Buck.
Or Kobe Bryant when he went off.
Well, Kobe Bryant also took like 50 shots.
Well, again, the more opportunity you give these guys, they do have talent. The more opportunity they're bound to strike.
Absolutely. I don't know if I really saw that. I get where you're coming from.
You know what I'm saying?
Was it like set up for him to have a big first touch, big run,
top 3 pick? It's not the third stringers in there because they do play hard.
No.
I'm talking
was
about
the first
the
guy.
Collins
Well,
and Myles Garrett.
He outran Denzel Ward. He had a it was supposed to be a run. I remember the game I was watching. It was supposed to be a run right up the middle, in jump cuts right.
He did a little Lev Bells.
Right. No one has the patience of that guy. But then he has a little cut, and then he was able to beat Denzel Ward to the outside. Another pick that I don't necessarily know if he should have gone that high. They could have gone maybe a little later.
They'll regret that.
But which they've regretted a lot.
Bradley Chubb, but all right.
They've regretted a lot of picks, so they'll get used to it. No, I didn't see that. I just think this is adding to the hype that he can't live up to. I don't remember a running back having to live up to the hype that Saquon. We're talking Saquon like he's got to beat Adrian Peterson.
Well, we're talking like he's already in Canton.
I mean, that's even taking it a step further, and I don't disagree. I mean, I'm not saying he's not going to be good. I don't even know if he's the best guy in his division.
I feel like the hype is just not unfair. It's not fair.
If we take a look at that division, I don't necessarily know. We're going to assume he's going to be better than Jay Ajayi. Do we know that right now? Because Jay Ajayi is pretty good, and he's not better than Zeke. So he's realistically the third best guy. Forget about the Washington running backs. They don't have anyone to match up to.
Oh, my God. My condolences to Darius Geis.
Well, well, for the sake of the argument, Darius Geis wasn't going to be Saquon anyway.
But you never have the – I'm not saying he would have been, but I thought he was set up for a nice season, a clear pathway to starting role. I mean –
yeah, he pretty much had to mess that one up.
Right. And
he had it.
You had a quarterback in front of you and Alex Smith who could manage a game, so you knew down the stretch you're going to get your touches.
That Washington team I think has some potential to score points. To score points?
Who's he throwing to? Paul Richardson?
Well, if
Jamison Crowder?
If we can, first, I like the kid. Well, Jamison Crowder.
Jordan Reed.
Well, let's not hate on Jamison Crowder. He's a very bright individual. He went to Duke.
I'm not saying that he's not bright.
They still have Terrell Pryor.
No, Terrell Pryor's on the Jets, bro. Where you been?
See, well, this is the problem. I've been watching a lot of Yankee baseball.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, you and Aaron Boone. Anyway.
Can we get into some baseball before we hit the NFC North? I think we need to talk a little.
And
Yankee baseball.
We will be hitting the NFC North because we hit every division.
Right, we hit every division. We have not hit the discount double check Wonder Boy yet. But I just want to.
You want to tap on the Yanks?
I want to. Yeah. Is it over for the division for them?
9.5 games out. You can never say it's over.
Right, that's what I've
said. Because old Yankee fans,
said.
Out there, 1978, August came, Yankees were 14 games out. What happened? They tied the Red Sox, went for that one-game playoff in Fenway, and that's why his name is Bucky effing Dent.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to do it. I think the series where they got swept really did them in. Even if you go 500, you could show. I mean, if realistically, I think it was 5.5 at that point. If I'm not mistaken, please don't quote me. Maybe 4, maybe 5, because of the Red Sox have played a few more games. If at that point the Yankees were able to go 3-1, now you cut it to 3.5. We have a race.
Right. I'm still waiting for him to take out Holder. I'm still waiting for him to take out Holder. The guy left 7 runs. I'm still waiting for him to get taken out.
That game. All right. Johnny Holder, if you're out there somewhere, you're not.
Yeah, he wasn't holding anyone.
Johnny, I know you struggled. He's been good. You know what? The Yankees have found that guy who doesn't necessarily fit the mold. We've seen Chad Green do it. We've seen Tommy Kahnle do it. I think Holder is that guy this year.
Tommy Kahnle is in somewhere in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre eating McDonald's. Stop it.
Tommy, we need you. Tommy, this is coming from all Yankee fans.
No, and a little bit is
the way Chapman's been pitching. Tommy,
a little bit of this blame has to go to Cashman. As much as he's gotten the glory for all these trades and accumulating all these prospects,
where's the outfield talent?
Some of this blame must be put on Cashman. Okay,
why?
Frazier is hurt. Where's Ellsbury right now?
He just
right. They're ready to collect the insurance on him. All right,
they can't get insurance. On him.
Okay. Next, now where is what's his name? Judge is hurt. All right,
and he got hit by a pitch.
That happens. I'll give you that.
Yeah. What are they supposed to do?
What's his name in right field? Shane Robinson, Mr. Robinson. What is that?
Okay. You know what?
He looks like Altuve in right field.
For all you baseball fans out there who have desperately been missing our show. We apologize. You know why teams like the Red Sox and the Astros are better? I'll give you two names.
They always have guys that step up.
Well, I'll give you two names that don't really ring a bell. For the Astros, I'll give you a guy like a Jake Marisnick, a guy that doesn't necessarily...
Even Gonzalez.
Or Marvin Gonzalez. That's even better.
He plays everywhere. He's like Michael Young.
Right. And the other guy for the Red Sox, it's Brock Holt.
Yeah.
I mean...
Or even Steven Pierce.
Right.
Pierce the new Yankee killer.
Right. He's hitting 310.
And he's a former Yankee. I think he only plays in the AL East.
Well, that was the reason that they got him, because he does well against the AL East. It's the same reason. If we look at Miami, why did Justin Bour go on the move? Right. Everyone says they have Carlos Santana. It's because he hits the guys like Tehran. He hits the guys like Fulton Nevich. His best games are against the teams in his division.
And he kills the Mets.
And all he's right. And all
everybody kills the Mets.
I mean, we can kill the Mets. I mean, other than DeGrom, we can kill the Mets. So we're not talking about the Mets. But all I'm saying...
You know what kills me?
I don't...
It's that they don't have a
they
don't have a Paul O'Neill on this team. They don't have a guy that will throw things around and get upset and is a warrior. They just have a bunch of guys that, yes, they are talented, but they act like they're going to the bar. They're just friends with one another. They're hanging out.
Well, you see, can't we say that all about baseball though? That's the way these guys are.
We get on Sanchez. We get on Fat Sanchez about not running. How about Gleyber Torres not running? How about
what have I been saying about Gleyber?
These guys are younger than me.
Remind our viewers what I've been saying about Gleyber Torres. Who did I compare him to?
Did you say Robinson Cano?
I said there's a little Robbie Cano in him. I said I don't know how it's going to play out. First of all, Andujar. Please field the ground ball. I mean, he's been committing errors.
Yankee fans, do you ever notice that the Red Sox play like it's their last day on Earth?
And you know what? That's a good point. They play every game. They played the doubleheader. They were down.
Nobody sweeps a doubleheader.
They were down 8-3, and not at one point was I watching that game, and I'm like, this game's over.
No,
I think the Red Sox
feel like they're in it.
I think the Red Sox won game 19-12.
Yes,
I
felt like losing 8-3 in the fifth.
Right, 19-12. My dad goes, "Are you watching what's going on?" I said, "No, what's going on?" He goes, "The Red Sox won 19-12."
JD Martinez has like 105 RBI.
I asked him if they scored 2 touchdowns, a safety, and a field goal, and he started laughing. He thought that's what he thought 19-12 was really 9-2, and someone in the ESPN graphic room put 2 ones before the score. I mean, this is I don't.
It's disgusting.
Well, I'm looking. I gotta be honest. I love the young kids. I think Andujar and Torres.
I love them too, but
they've never played this many games.
That's right. The minor league system,
they're done in a few weeks.
Is winding down for them. They're not used to it, and people want to get on Severino for not.
He's been struggling too.
Right. So it's contagious, like anything else. It's contagious. Once one goes bad, some might get bad. It's like that one bad egg in the bunch. You know what? Chances are they're all going to get bad after a while. So I think you need someone to right the ship. And I blame Cashman for a little bit because you sent a Jorge Mateo, Dustin Fowler,
who's doing pretty well out in Oakland right now.
And a James Caprillion for Sonny Gray. What the heck has Sonny Gray done for us? Nada.
What are you talking about? He's pitching to a 5.7 ERA.
I know. That's what I traded for. 5.7 ERA, and he's the long man in the bullpen.
I do want to give Cashman some
credit. Put him
in
the bullpen.
I do want to,
like Sonny says.
Well, let's look at
the bullpen.
Let's look at the offseason moves. The offseason moves. Let's look at the deadline moves he made this year. I'm loving Lance Lynn. The problem with Lance Lynn and why his ERA was so high was because he had no spring training. So when he got signed, he
just straight went to Fort Myers.
He needed to the Twins. He took him 8 starts. He had, I think, a 7.8 ERA, 7.7, 7.8 ERA through the first 8. He's got a 3 ERA after that, and he's a career 3.5 guy. So he's looked pretty good in a Yankee uniform. He uses a lot of pitches. That's his one downside. He strikes a lot of guys out. He's not like a CC who's a little more economical, but
it just befuddles me.
That's a good move, I think.
Okay, I love Andujar, but can we stop treating him like he's Brooks Robinson? That guy should have been traded or moved for a big-time pitcher. And you know what?
Jacob deGrom was out there.
You would have had a Jacob deGrom. How about a Michael Fulmer? How about a Daniel Duffy?
No, that's fine.
But you see what I mean?
I don't like those guys.
DeGrom, if you could have put an Andrew Hart, Clint Frazier, Justice Sheffield package for Jacob deGrom, would you do it? I would have done it, and you would have had deGrom, Severino, Happ, Lynn, and CeCe in the back. I can't count.
What about Tanaka, who's been on fire?
Yeah, but he was on fire the other day with Texas, giving up 7 runs.
No, he struggled versus Texas.
Yeah, you should just pitch him against the good teams because he can't pitch down to the competition.
That is true. He's been good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I just want to end.
You know, he reminds me of Mike Messina. Mike Messina would start giving up home runs to every little Baltimore team, but then in the playoffs, he
looked like Cy Young.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to. This is my
mental.
This is my last thought on Cashman. I think he did pretty well. For a few things. One, this is not Aaron Boone's fault. I think he's done a decent job lately. I think he's doing better.
Rick, come on. Now you get into me, bro. Now you get into me. I could put
No, let me finish my point.
Wait. No, I could put my girlfriend from Staten Island in that dugout with a jersey on, and she could manage that team.
Did I interrupt you?
No. Go on. You hit a sensitive spot there.
Yeah. No, I struck a nerve. That's fine. I think.
Boom.
No. I think Boone's done okay. He's not better than Alex Cora, obviously. Alex Cora has done fantastic up there. I think Cashman's done a decent job here. The only thing I've always said about Cashman, he never got the big guy. He didn't get
DeGrom. He
didn't get DeGrom. But if we look back, he didn't get Cliff Lee.
Right.
He didn't get.
And you remember why they never got Cliff Lee? Yankee fans, 2010. We're just coming off another World Series.
Never got the Roy Halladay.
You know what he got? Lance Berkman. And he could have had
the big Puma.
Yeah,
he got the big Puma. Well, how did he not like Lance Berkman?
I didn't mind Lance Berkman, but I would have liked Cliff Lee. We would have won.
You thought they were trading for you,
right? We would have thought that we would have won the thing again because you know why I didn't want to trade him? Montero was in the deal.
Oh God!
And you know why they didn't want to trade him? You're gonna cry. Eddie Nunez was the deal breaker. I would have shipped him for free now. So Eddie Nunez is the reason why we don't have 28 championships and we have 27 because Cliff Lee looked like Chris Sale back then. He was dominant.
Well, if you want to talk about
you
want to talk about the trade that really set the Red Sox ahead, the Chris Sale trade.
Oh, absolutely.
They got rid of.
And what happened to Yohan Moncada?
He's okay.
He's fizzling out right now.
Yeah, he's okay at best. But I mean, Chris Sale, how is he not the AL Cy Young again?
And you know what? You just almost said it. MVP.
He's not the MVP.
No.
No, but the MVP is right. JD Martinez.
I know people want to get on Mookie Betts, right?
Mookie Betts was a 260 hitter last year. So let's pump the brakes.
Right, let's pump the brake on
He's a good
Mookie
hitter,
Betts.
good player, but he's not JD.
They missed that Poppy Ortiz presence.
Right.
And who brings that presence? JD Martinez. That was the guy has 105 RBIs.
JD Martinez, and if you're out there listening, buddy, please have 150 for me. If he doesn't have 150 with Brock Holt
if don't take him on DraftKings, you're nuts.
Between Brock Holt, I think JD Martinez already had another RBI today. Between Brock Holt, Bogarts, Betts,
Bogarts is hitting like fifth in that line.
Those guys are on. I take a look on the screen or Gamecast or wherever you guys might be watching. Fellas, ladies, they have runners in scoring position every 5 minutes. It's unbelievable. The Baltimore pitchers must have had nightmares, or they were taking some sort of medication because they don't care, or they were staying up all night because this team is on fire. But moral of the story, I don't think they're catching them, but don't count the Yankees.
Talk about winning. They're winning right now 2-0 in bottom of the 7th.
Well, the Orioles have shifted it.
So today, it's going to be a wash because the Yanks are winning 7-0 in the 7th. So that looks like it's going to stay 9.5. That's what it is. Right?
I don't think it's going to. Yeah, I don't think it's going to catch them. You know what? If they,
you just gotta. You know what you have to just focus on. Just focus on that one wild card and getting that game to Yankee Stadium. Because if an Oakland team has to fly across country,
it looks like it's going to be Sean Manaea. It's probably going to be Manaea versus
Severino. And you know what? You call me crazy, and I wasn't crazy about this guy coming in, but I think I'd start Happ over Severino.
There's no way.
Just for the mere fact
There's no way.
Just for the mere fact, Oakland has some lefties in that lineup.
No way.
And if I do win, I want Game 1 to be with Severino.
I understand where you're coming from, but you can't worry about that.
I understand that, but that's why you go get a hat.
Are you saying that because Severino's been struggling?
It's a little bit of both.
Because I think he looked much better. I know the White Sox.
Yeah, it's the White
weren't
Sox
that good, but he looked better.
I can't trust Severino against an Oakland bopping lineup.
Yeah, but guys like Chris Davis.
What happened to him last year against the Twins lineup, who is probably the similar as the Oakland lineup this year?
Did the Twins win?
No, but
the Twins haven't beaten the Yankees in the playoffs since 1400.
But how many times does that happen that the offense of the other team gets a quick 4 or 5 off of you and you end up winning just because the other team folded? You can't live on that for a long time. You can't live on cardiac arrest forever. You got to play a crisp game, especially in the playoffs. And you know what they do the worst, the Yankees? If they don't hit a home run, they strike out. They don't move runners in position. But
isn't that the trend in this game?
I know it's the trend, but that doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't mean it's right.
I didn't say no. I'm not saying it's right, but that's just the way the games are played.
It's horrible. This analytical thinking that if someone's on base, I can't bunt. Well, you know what? I'm playing winning baseball, not analytical baseball. Well, and I feel like a little bit has to go both ways.
Speaking of guys that need to be clutch, if we're talking about Stanton, Judge, and Severino, how about that discount double check guy?
My God.
I want to get back to some football.
You want to get back to some football? You know what? It's draft season, fantasy draft season. Like we mentioned before, preseason has started. Definitely, we're going to jump into the NFC North Breakdown because I can't take any more of Aaron Boone and the slumping Yankees. I can't take it. I wouldn't let him manage my Anderson Dental minor league team.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. He'd be lucky because he's a bum. Next.
Is Aaron Rodgers?
He's a dog.
Is this his division?
How could it not be? If you have a team with Aaron Rodgers, discount double check. I know he doesn't have Jordy Nelson, but you know what? He's got Jimmy Graham. And you know how many touchdowns Jimmy Graham is going to have? Right now, I'm going to shake your hand. He's going to have 10 touchdowns.
Jimmy Graham.
Because when they get in the red zone, it's going to be block out, rebound, over the back shoulder every time to Jimmy Graham.
I just worry about his health. That's
Of course, that you could really basically say that about anyone. You could say that about Aaron Rodgers himself.
I can't. Yeah, I can, but I'm not saying that with guys like Antonio Brown. The guy's always on the field. I'm not saying that with guys like like Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson never missed games.
You know what it is? I like
Jimmy
about
Graham
the
is
Packers.
not reliable.
You know what I like about this Packers team? We could say, we could praise Aaron Rodgers all day long. You know what move went really underrated? Them getting Muhammad Wilkerson.
No, I do like that.
As a former Jet fan, watching Muhammad Wilkerson, when this guy has a motor,
he's very good.
He's one of the best D ends in the league. But what happened? He got complacent in New York. It's New York, and and every time you take a guy that lives in the area and plays for the hometown team, you know what? Sometimes
he went to Temple, I think.
Right. Sometimes no, but he lived in Jersey.
No, I'm saying yeah. He went to Temple near relatively close.
And when they say the New York Jets, they really mean East Rutherford down the turnpike.
Right.
So
New York. Yeah.
Right. So they still have the rights. But whatever the case may be, it didn't work out. A new scenery. He's with his old D coach, Mike Pettin, who is with Rex Ryan in the Jets. I feel like this is going to be a comeback year for Muhammad Wilkerson, and he's going to look all pro. He's going to look all pro. Jets fans, you know it out there. I know it. Ricky knows it. He's a Raven fan. He's gonna do well, and you'll see him in the Pro Bowl in Orlando in January.
I think it. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's their division to lose.
Who are you liking? You like Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings?
It's tough for me to take anyone other than the bad man himself.
Well, let me ask you this.
I'm still going to take the Vikings right now.
Well, let me ask you this.
Over the
now
Packers.
We're leading into the Vikings. Kirk Cousins, they get him. 84 guaranteed. Does this get them over the hump to the Super Bowl? I say no.
I don't think it gets them to that point because I think between the Eagles and the Rams, they're not in that class.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Eagles, Rams, and then everyone else in the NFC. I think then you could throw the Falcons, the Saints,
right?
Potentially the Panthers.
I would say Eagles 1, Rams 2, and Saints 3.
Right, and I think the Vikings round out that back end like 4 or 5.
You could probably Packers, Vikings.
I think
Atlanta.
I like the Vikings all around. I think Dalvin Cook will be very good this year.
The thing about the NFC, I'm a Jet fan. Being in the
NFC is better.
Oh, the NFC is very good. I mean, you have teams. Listen, I'm not high on Dallas, but Dallas could beat up on some teams in the AFC.
Dallas is not very good.
It's just that they can't stop it.
Dallas won't be 500 this year.
Listen, the matchup of the week, when you're going against that Dallas D, get your popcorn ready, get your QB ready, get your wide receiver ready.
Get everyone ready.
Maybe not the running back so much because they got a little line, but DeMarcus Lawrence. But other than that,
and if Randy Gregory feels
God,
David Irving, they have some guys up.
I had Keenan Allen on DraftKings going into that Thanksgiving game. The guy got me like a nice little change, a nice little coin.
Yeah, no.
They can't stop.
They can't,
anyway.
Especially if Sean Lee is not in there.
Imagine a game, the Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys. What an over.
Oh, yeah. Both teams can't.
Book it. 55.
Both teams can't play. I don't know.
Book it.
No, I'm saying I don't know about the Packers division.
Yeah.
If we're going back to the question. I still like the Vikings better. I don't think it gets them to the Super Bowl, but I'd still...
The Vikings are another choke artist.
Who?
Vikings.
They are, but I don't think... First of all, I love what they did with Stephon Diggs. I think wrapping him up, giving him his money, well-deserved.
Miracle in Minnesota, you got to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, the last time
he's up and coming in this league. He reminds me of, what's his name? A little bit of Jarvis Landry.
Not as physical.
Yeah, but I think better going deep ball.
Yes, I think he's better going deep. I think he's got more pure speed.
Yeah.
He's more of an outside receiver for sure. I think Jarvis is better in a Y. I think Jarvis Landry would absolutely destroy people in a place like New England where the slot guy is important. I don't necessarily. That's where I think Jarvis would strive. I know everyone with Brady would be good, but I think a guy.
Well, you know where I could see him strive as well. How about the Detroit Lions in that Golden Tate position, and Matthew Stafford, who likes to throw those short intermediate passes? I think Matthew Stafford goes really underrated in this league.
He could sling it all over the yard.
Do you think they got a shot? They got Patricia. I mean,
is he doing the same Belichick things? That's I
but
think
you see what I mean? I can't trust Belichick disciples because Eric Mangini. You had Josh.
But
Daniels.
Eric Mangini was defensive minded first.
Okay, well, they didn't
score.
No, well, didn't what's his name? Patricia was defensive minded.
Yeah, but the difference is Mangini. Where did Mangini end up versus where did Patricia end up?
Well, I mean,
Mangini was here in New York.
Right.
Patricia's now got a quarterback.
Right.
With wide receivers.
Right. And Mangini had Pennington and Favre.
Right. Chad Pennington lasted 2 quarters every season.
And Favre was on his way out.
Right. I mean, this isn't Green Bay Brett Favre when he's 27, 28, 29.
But Jets fans will know, their best drafts was when Mangini was there.
Okay, so then it just speaks to how poorly he develops players. Either way,
he just picks them right. Yeah,
right, great. He picks them right. He's like a buy low guy. Here, I'll give you an asset. It's like New England. Give you an asset.
I think the Lions are really a sleeper in the NFC itself.
Well,
they were contending for the division last year. They lost a couple games and then they got the wild card. I mean, granted, they got out quickly against Seattle. No, not Seattle. I forgot which team they played, but they got out really. They got bumped out real quick. But I see them going places, and you know what? Maybe a Kerryon Johnson from Auburn.
I like that kid.
I like him too. And then you have what's his name? LeGarrette Blount. He reminds me of Eric Hinsky. Everywhere he goes, he wins a Super Bowl. So, and like Eric Hinsky, there was like a run where he was on 3 teams and they went to the World Series every year.
LeGarrette Blount's been on the Patriots. He's been on the Eagles. He put a guy in a hospital. He put a guy in a hospital in college.
He's a nice man.
Yeah, he means
like my boys say, LeGarrette Blount.
No, you know what? I think if nothing else, LeGarrette Blount can help bring a guy like Kerryon Johnson along. I think he's really matured based off what we hear. LeGarrette Blount hasn't really caused any issues. I think the New England way might have helped him out a little bit. It seems
set him straight.
Right, because Randy Moss went there, and Randy Moss, you did not hear a peep out of him.
I think that's what put Randy over the top going to New England.
I mean, I don't know how that team didn't win that Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
I mean, the giant Eli, congratulations to you. That's why you will be in the Hall of Fame, because of potentially the biggest upset in Super Bowl history.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But no, back to the Lions. I think Stafford, I love the kid Kenny Golladay on the outside. Marvin Jones, like him. Like Tate.
I like
Ebron.
Tate. Bro, where you been? Ebron went to the Colts.
No, who's their other tight end?
Not Pettigrew. He left.
No, I didn't like Pettigrew. They have someone in there. No, I just I don't know.
You like the Lions? The defense, I was always suspect.
I think the Lions.
Darius Slay.
No, I don't know. I'm not a big Darius Slay guy. I'm looking it up here as we move along. But no, Darius Slay is not stopping anyone. He couldn't stop Jordy Nelson. He's certainly not going to do it. Oh, they got the kid Luke Wilson, the kid from Seattle. That's Russell Wilson used him a lot. I
knew it was one of those people.
He's one of those blocking tight ends. See, the problem with Detroit is they always want to go vertical, and that's what Ebron did the best.
Patricia, what he brings is, if you ever notice of a defensive-minded coach, is they want to preach the run first, leave the game up to the defense. So I think there's going to be a little more running in
and I think Kerryon Johnson. They still have Abdullah.
Oh,
saw him the other night. Another scat bag. No, I haven't given up on Amir Abdullah yet. I haven't. I like them. Aaron Rodgers always makes it tough, but I would still I would go Vikings, Packers, Lions, and the last team, the Bears.
Bears.
Does Mitch Trubisky benefit from Mr. Nagy the way people are talking about, or does he stay in the same place? Because you're a bigger Trubisky fan than I am.
Absolutely, and I see a little bit of Matty Ice in him.
Don't do that.
I also see a little bit of Alex Smith in him. Short, intermediate throws, could manage it, and in Nagy's offense, I believe he could.
What is he, the quarterback whisperer, Matt Nagy? Who the heck is this guy?
And with
right.
I'm still gonna keep going on. And with Trey Burton there, who's like a mini Travis Kelce, I believe they have some parts there with an Allen Robinson if he could return to 2016 form with the Jags. They have an Anthony Miller who they drafted. Kevin White from West Virginia. The kid's never even been on the field yet for the past 2 years. But you know what? Maybe he gets on the field. Maybe he shows something. Then you got the two running backs, Tariq Cohen.
And Jordan Howard.
You got a nice little combination. You got a little.
But that team is still finishing last.
You know what?
I don't think they're really if they're in the AFC East, they're not finishing last. But in this division, they're finishing last. Do you know what this reminds me of? The NL Central in baseball. Type of you don't have any great teams, but you have some good ones.
Right. I think
none of which are Super Bowl contenders. Just like the Brewers, the Cardinals, and Pirates. None of those teams are winning anything, but they're good teams.
I could see the Bears in last, but they're in it. If that makes any sense, they're heading towards a winning record.
So you're saying 7-9,
right?
That's a good division. Well,
right.
8-8. If they can't finish
because
8-8.
I'm thinking of all the other teams that they would have to go through, and you could pretty
much. That's the problem.
You could pretty much make the case that the worst team in the NFC are the Dallas Cowboys, just for the mere fact no one to throw to, third-year quarterback.
No, I would say the Washington Redskins are worse.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know the way the Giants are going to shape up either.
I think the Giants are going to come out gangbusters.
If we break down the divisions, right? Let's start.
Well, we're going to get to that in next show. We already did the East. This was the North. We did the North in the AFC. We did the East in the AFC. So the other divisions we'll get to, but just on a pure of NFC.
Right, real quick, I'm going to give you
The
all
East.
4 teams. Right, I'll just give you all 4 teams and tell me if the Bears, in your opinion, are better. The Cowboys, the Redskins, the Eagles, or the Giants. Are they better than any of the? Who are they better than? I don't think they're better than anyone.
I think they're better than the Redskins and the Cowboys.
All right, so that's 2. In this division, we established they're probably 4th. The Panthers, I don't think so. The Bucks.
Only the Tampa.
The Bucks.
Only Tampa.
And the Saints and the Falcons, they're not.
No.
The 49ers with Jimmy G? I don't know.
I would say that's a wash.
The Cardinals, they might be better than the Cardinals, and I don't think they're better than the Rams, and they're not better than the Seahawks. Still, I don't think.
You're gonna kill me.
I
think they're better than the Seahawks.
No, there's no way. There's still enough.
The Seahawks do not have a defense. It is not the Legion of Doom anymore. It's more like the Legion of, oh my God, they're bad. They can't stop anybody. They're defensive backs. Earl Thomas isn't in camp. They're just a mess right now.
Well, that's because he wants to go to his big bad Dallas Cowboys back to Texas, which you can't blame him for.
I think they're better than Seattle, the Bears.
On paper, they're not.
But I think
they have a better season.
Yes, I think they'll have a better season, and the ascension of Trubisky in his second year.
So you're just a bigger Trubisky guy than me. I'm not saying he's not decent.
Well, let me give it. I'm sorry to get off topic a little bit, but them drafting Rashard Penny, we've had numerous talks about Rashard Penny.
I love that kid.
Do you think he's going to make an impact in that offense?
No.
Bigger impact right now. I just got to get this from you. Royce Freeman in Denver, Rashard Penny in Seattle. I say Freeman. Because
I'm
the better
leaning towards Freeman, but the Seahawks always had a love for Marshawn, which I think if they could, I mean, I've been saying this for a while. Like, they had Alex Collins, didn't do anything there. He's doing great things for Baltimore. Thank you, Seattle.
Yeah.
Thomas Rawls didn't do much. He was a flash in the pan. So they always are giving their guys a shot. I think Royce Freeman might be the guy that they've been missing out in Denver for a while. He might be that last missing link.
It's just so
he
hard
has the potential.
When a team selects a running back in the first round, automatically you think, well, he's going to be used. He's going to be used, abused, get the volume, which he should be. But, you have a Chris Carson there.
Oh, why is he even
You have I forgot the other guy's name, but I know he's there in Seattle, the other running back. Oh, CJ Prosize.
Oh, yeah.
But and McKissick.
J.D. McKissick?
Right, he's more like a Chris Thompson.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just they have a bad offensive line, and I feel like for Seattle, they should have addressed the line. Will Hernandez was there. That would have been a perfect
offensive
pick.
line has been bad for a while now.
Will Hernandez was there. They should have picked that and went for the running back later.
You know what's ironic about Will Hernandez? He was standing next to who's the guy that Giants?
Not Aaron Hernandez.
No, who's the guy that Giants just got? Their new offensive tackle.
Nate Soldier.
Yes, standing. It was ironic the way the Giants' offensive line was standing. Left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. That's the way they were standing on the line, and it was kind of ironic. And I was like, you know what? I could see this working. And the Seahawks could have used a Will Hernandez type of guy. The Colts got Quentin Nelson, who they think might be a potential Pro Bowler to protect Luck. So, hello, if anyone's seen the Seattle Seahawks play, Russell Wilson's kind of running for his life in there too.
So going back to Chicago, you think they are last place material?
Unfortunately, in that division.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in that
because
division.
The quarterbacks are just better.
Right. I realistically,
and Trubisky's the worst quarterback in that division.
Absolutely right, and that's the problem. I don't see that. It's not like their defense is so fantastic where they're gonna. If they had the Vikings defense, if you flip the defense, now all of a sudden I say the Bears could be the second best team.
I forgot. What's his name? The DN for Chicago is very overlooked. Oh my gosh, what's his name?
Well, as we get Dean Nannis to look that up for us.
Yeah, get on it, Dean Nannis.
I think.
In the meanwhile, you know what I wanted to play a little game with you? What the New York Jets record would be. Jets fans, listen up. Okay?
I'll let you go first. You're the Jets fan.
Okay. Week 1, Monday night, Lions. I call that a win.
Oh, we're going game by game.
Yes.
Okay.
Week 2, Miami Dolphins, home. They stink. Ryan Tannehill's a bum. That's a win. 2-0. At Cleveland, that's a win. 3-0. Hey, listen, I'm going by the schedule.
You're gonna read me the schedule, and I go, and I'm gonna keep my mouth shut right now.
Okay, 3-0 right now. Games. Jaguars at Jags, that's a loss. 3-1. Denver comes in, that's a loss. 3-2. Colts come in, I say that's a win. That's 4-2. Vikings come in, that's a loss. 4-3. At the Bears, that could go either way. I'm gonna say that's a loss. 4-3. At Miami, I'm going to say that's 5-3. The Bills, 6-3. Going into the bye week.
Was that in Buffalo, the first one?
No, that was in New York.
That was in New York.
Okay. Week 12, come out of the bye. New England Patriots, loss.
Okay.
So that's, what are we at now?
It's 6-5.
6-5. At Tennessee, you know what? I'm going to say that's a win.
7-5.
7-5. At Buffalo, I'm going to say it's a loss. 7-6. Houston comes in. I'm going to say 7-7.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers come in.
You got to say that's a win.
I'm going to say that's a win. I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers, week 16.
Is that the last game of the season? No, they have one
week.
more.
Oh, fantasy.
So that's 8-7. So we have them at 8-7.
And then at New England, I say the New York Jets pull it off and get.
So that's 9-7.
9-7 with Sammy Darnold.
Okay, so that in your estimation, that's good enough. That won't be enough to beat the Patriots, but that's good enough to get a wild card, is what you're saying.
A second wild card spot, yeah.
So they'd be fighting with the teams like the Ravens and maybe the Colts, Colts or Texans, because you assume the Jaguars will still win. I say the Jaguars still win the division.
Even like a Charger team.
Right. That's who they're fighting
with.
I say the AFC South gets 2 teams. I say the Jaguars, Colts, and Texans, there will be 2 teams. I don't know who wins the division yet.
Oh, I say the South gets 1 team.
Which would be?
Houston.
Okay, so then Jacksonville's out. So you're saying they're one-hit wonder.
So
say the Jets get the second. Who would be your second wild card team?
No, I say the second wild card team is the Jets, and the fifth.
Who would be the first wild card team?
The fifth team,
like the Chiefs, It would be realistically the Chiefs.
I'm saying the Chargers.
So my Ravens are out.
No, yes, the Ravens are out, and then I'm sorry, I'm trying to be political, and then but meanwhile I'm putting in the Jets, and then the West,
right.
The West, I'm gonna
Chiefs, Chargers.
I'm gonna have Denver win it.
So the Chiefs, Chargers are out.
The Chiefs and the Raiders are out. The Chargers and Denver make it. The Denver's the winner of the division.
Oh, right, okay.
And the Chargers win the.
So the AFC South gets 1 team. And the AFC North gets 1 team,
the East gets 2 teams, the Jets and the Patriots.
And the West gets the
Denver
Broncos
and the Chargers.
Okay, so if you could read me the Jets schedule.
Okay.
Before you guys get upset, I promise you they will not be 9-7. I'm gonna go through it again, but they will not be 9-7.
I'm really.
You had your turn.
I show some optimism, but
I feel
like we can
real quick.
Okay, go.
No, real quick. Where does Darnold start? Is he starting week 1 on this 9-17?
Week 3, Thursday night against the Cleveland Browns.
But they're 2-0 with McCown. See that? I don't understand you.
No. Well, can you please listen? We go 2-0 with McCown.
Oh, right.
I'm saying
wait.
They're
2-0 and they're going
again.
to McCown.
Again, he can't listen to the whole scenario here.
Oh, he gets hurt?
Yeah.
Oh. All right,
I say he breaks his leg against the Miami Dolphins in the home opener, and Teddy Bridgewater gets traded before week 1.
That's enough of that. All right.
Okay.
All right, and they have no backup.
Wait, the backup is whatever.
The punter.
Drew Stanton.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's Lakeland Edwards, the punter. All right, fine.
Okay,
so
week 1,
all seriousness.
A Monday night Lions. What do you
Detroit?
got? Yeah.
The Fighting Staffords, 0-1.
Okay, 0-1.
No, but that
okay, that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Okay,
home opener against Miami, week 2.
I'll give that a win.
Okay, 1-1.
That's 1-1. At this point, might I add, Sam Darnold is starting all my games.
Okay, week 3 at Cleveland.
I'll say that's a win.
2-1.
I'll say that's a win.
Okay.
I don't know. Wait. Can I put an asterisk on that? If Baker Mayfield is playing, they lose. If Tyrod Taylor is playing, they win. Can I put an asterisk on that?
I actually say the opposite, but all right.
No, but that's my if
Okay.
Baker Mayfield's
That could go either
in,
way, yeah.
fine. So I'll say 2-1 for the sake of the argument. 2-1.
In Jacksonville, week 4.
No, well, 2-2. That's not. I'm not even entertaining that.
Denver comes in.
I think that's a loss too. The Fighting Broncos, that team.
No, yeah, I agree with you.
Chubb and those guys.
Indianapolis comes in.
If Luck is healthy, I'm going 2-4. I'm sorry. No.
Really?
I like the Colts.
They have no defense.
Andrew Luck can
Who's
shred
chopping me? Malik on the corner, Hooker?
Well, or I forgot Darrell Revis was guarding T.Y. Hilton
This is
in
a
the
family show.
Yeah, I forgot Darrell Revis didn't retire. He must have in your fantasy land. He must still be playing.
Right.
Jamal Adams is going to have the whole defense.
Okay, so
that's
right now,
2-4.
leading into week 7, you're 2-4. Okay.
And I'm being very realistic.
Minnesota comes in.
That's 2-5.
Okay.
Where are these wins
At
coming
Chicago.
from? I say that's a win. I say
3-5.
I say Darnold beats out Trubisky.
Sure.
3-5. The battle of 2 bad teams.
In Miami, week 9.
I want to say that's a win.
Okay.
That's 4-5. I want to say. I don't know why I'm saying
home
that.
with Buffalo.
I say that's a win too. I say 5-5.
5-5 going to the break. That's not bad at all. I would take that. If someone told me right now,
hell
yeah.
Yeah, I would say that too if I'm a Jet fan.
Okay. Coming out of the break with the New England Patriots home.
5-6.
Okay.
Brady's knocking them off twice.
In Tennessee, week 13.
I say Marcus Mariota has a big game. 5-7.
Okay. At Buffalo, week 14.
No, 5-8.
Okay.
I say at that point it's Josh Allen, and I like Josh Allen better than I like Donald.
Houston comes in.
Deshaun Watson healthy? No. 5-9.
Green Bay coming in.
5-10.
And at New England.
5-11.
Okay, so 5-11.
And
so you've got Ricky P telling that you guys that you're going 5-9, 5-11.
But might I add, it's 4-12 if Baker Mayfield is playing in that week 3 game. But I do want to. I know. In all seriousness, Puma's definitely the more optimistic when it comes to the Jets, which I expected to be. The Jets either do what I think they're going to do at 5-11, 4-12, 6-10, or they have a magical season. They do have 9-7. I don't see them like 7-9, 8-8.
So it's either one way or the other.
Right. I don't see them being in the middle. I say they're pretty bad. Like I think they're going to be, or they have a right, or they just shoot up and they're the second best team in the AFC East. Because I think at 9-7 that would do it because the other divisions are better. That's the worst division.
Sam Darnold, Rookie of the Year. Mark it down. Only because he has the clearest path, and I think he has more help than the other quarterbacks.
I'm going to say, I hate that I'm saying this because I'm not a big fan. I'm going to say Saquon Barkley is. And the reason I say Saquon
Wait, they don't do AFC, NFC rookie, right?
I'm sorry. I don't remember.
Do they?
If I'm paying, fine, I'll take another AFC guy. I say Baker Mayfield is better than him.
Okay.
I don't necessarily. I think Baker's just got more talent around him. Which that is not a shot against the Jets. I think that's pretty obvious.
I just don't think he'll get the opportunity just for the mere fact I think the Browns will wield off a couple of wins. Therefore, it'll keep Tyrod still in there.
Well, right. That's like I said. The whole asterisk. If Tyrod Taylor through the first month is 2-2 or 3-1 by some miracle, he looked good to me the other night. I've never been he was in Baltimore system. I got to see him play a lot. He's not bad.
Yeah,
he's just not
better. Sam Darnold.
He's not better than Tyrod Taylor right now.
I think
stop that.
I would take Sam Darnold over Tyrod Taylor right now.
Right. I'm talking. Yeah, you're in the Super Bowl. You're playing the Eagles. You have Tyrod Taylor, Sam Darnold. You're out of your mind if you're right now. I'm not even entertaining your thought. I'm not entertaining that. There's no way on God's green earth he is better than Tyrod Taylor right now. Tyrod Taylor just took a team to the playoffs.
I see the potential in Sam Darnold.
Unless I missed something. No. You're looking at potential, Puma. I'm telling you right now. The game is tomorrow.
Okay, if the game's tomorrow, then yeah, I'm taking.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm not saying 5 years from now. I'm saying tomorrow. The game's August. What is it?
Might come as early as September, but yeah.
August 13th. The game's August 13th. Tyrod Taylor's playing the Super Bowl.
That's a weird
game.
Super Bowl. Anyway, okay, so it was glad to be back, and please please subscribe to JFP Sports on YouTube. And please DM us your questions at JFP Sports on IG. So in the great words of Dr. Seuss, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Till next time, folks.